Hello, everybody. Welcome back to On Defense, the only sports podcast that you are allowed to listen to. I am Scooter Van Gogh, and as always, sitting in the other chair in the room, Roman Rubio.
I have been wearing the same Jaylen Brown jersey for the last 9 days.
He is. He's wearing the same Jaylen Brown jersey that he was the last podcast.
Not been able to pop my left ear for about 3 days. But yeah, we got a great show for you today. Today is Thursday, June 27th. Day after the first round one of the NBA draft.
Should I be worried about that? Should I be worried that you can't pop your...
It's just driving me a little crazy. Yeah, day after round one of the NBA draft. Like I said, we got a great show. Going to be talking about NBA free agency news. We got some rankings that we're going to be doing today. Fun little offseason stuff we're going to be doing, ranking NFL players, NBA players. And I even have some special lists of my own that I've been anticipating to share with everyone. But first, NBA draft last night, round one. Stupidly, it is now a 2-day draft for the NBA.
Big dumb move.
Dumb move.
I don't understand it. I would understand if like every year, like there was like 2 or 3 second rounders that like came through and really made a difference. But like it's rare. And I know I'm not saying that second rounders can't be good. We have a three-time MVP?
And NBA champion.
Yeah, I'm saying like NBA champion. That was second rounder. I mean, you have Brogdon, who was he?
Malcolm Brogdon. Yeah. He was rookie of the year.
Yeah.
Like he was the first.
Like
I think the first second rounder to be.
There's been a couple like good Draymond Green. There's been a couple good second rounders, but I just don't think for a whole 4-hour experience or however long it's supposed to go tonight.
And they're doing it at 4 Eastern on a Thursday. Like, how many people are tuning into that shit? I mean, I get it. I also like on a random Wednesday night when they're doing round one, how many people at 10, 11 o'clock at night are watching the rest of the draft? Mm-hmm. Like, I kind of get it, but still, like, I feel like it's kind of perfect timing that they did a 2-day draft now with Bronny being in the draft.
When
first year.
Is soccer being played right now? Because I think that might be a big deal about it too. Is if they're trying not to compete with the soccer ratings that are going on right now with Copa America and the Euro Championship.
That's a great
League.
Question. That's a question for intern Sean. If only we could phone him in.
Yeah, but that possibly is the reason why they're doing it at such weird times.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I think it's. I never thought it was gonna be a good idea to do second round. I mean, the good thing about this year is there's the whole Bronny thing.
Yeah.
So
literally gonna be the entire talk.
Yeah. So Bronny will be the whole talk about it, and who's gonna take Bronny, and will he fall to the Lakers? Or what if he doesn't go drafted and the Lakers don't draft him? Then what happens? He'll
sign a contract with him.
Yeah, but
he'll sign a 2-way deal or a 4-year.
What if he says, "Screw
contract.
You, Dad! You couldn't pull the strings over at Lakerland like you usually do for me." Okay, I'm going to Orlando, the place you said you never want to play.
I've been seeing tweets leading up to the draft. What does Bronny call LeBron if they're on the same team? Is he like, "Dad, pick to your left"? Dad, I'm drop. I'm in drop coverage. Like, what does he say, Dad, or does he say LeBron? What does he say?
Oh yeah, I don't know.
It's kind of
23.
Yeah,
23. Like, did he say just a number? Like,
no, you got to say somebody. You got to say like LB or Braun or LeBron.
I mean,
or
usually
Dad
when sons and dads work together, they call themselves whatever they call themselves usually. So yeah, I mean, and it's
easy for LeBron. LeBron will call him Bronny.
Yeah, and the other thing is like honestly, it's a time play as well. What takes longer to say, Dad or LeBron? Yeah. So now it's like a little cheat code that if they need to communicate, it's Dad. Instead of say LeBron, like
I wouldn't be surprised if let's say Bronny gets drafted to the Lakers, and let's say he plays some games this year for the Lakers, and let's say some of those games he may be mic'd up for, just for content. I wouldn't be surprised if sometimes we just catch a in the moment, Dad, Julia, Dad. Yeah. Like that'd be cool. I just
what if he calls him Daddy?
That's what I think you're about to say.
What if he calls him Daddy?
I don't know.
Daddy, I'm over here. Daddy, I'm open. Daddy,
corner.
Hey, get off my daddy. Don't you foul my daddy like that. But let's talk about people who have been drafted, who are good enough to be drafted in the first round.
Yeah. We had the first round.
The French Revolution, they're calling it.
The French. Yeah, because, like, was it like 4 Frenchmen drafted in the lottery?
The top 2 were drafted from France, and then...
I think it was 4 in the lottery.
Yeah, and then the Hornets drafted a French guy.
And then Nikola Topak.
No, he's from Serbia.
He's from Serbia?
Yeah, he's from Serbia.
Never mind.
So he might have played in France or something like that, but he's from Serbia.
I forget. There was another French guy.
But yeah, no, there were definitely more French guys there. But yeah, they're calling it the French Revolution, and then with also Victor Wembanyama being picked first last year, it's,
French Revolution.
France is taking over. And the crazy thing is one, it'll be crazy to see them take over the NBA. But if they do become like superstars, like the 1 and 2 picks are supposed to be, the Olympics, like they're going to France.
See TV.
Yeah, France will be a team to watch.
France versus USA would be must see TV.
Yeah, and I'm hoping my boy Tajron Salon or whatever his name is that the Hornets picked. I hope he's leading the way. I hope he's.
Yeah, let's talk about that for a second. Little like history background. For me and Scott have been friends for a while. We've been in a group chat for many years where we talk about sports pretty much daily. It has been quite a few years since I have seen Skylar satisfied with a pick. And last night was no exception. This man was going off in the group chat.
I'll be clear. I will be clear. I was a scoot over Brandon Miller guy.
Yep.
I was. I'll admit that. But I will also be the first one to say that Brandon really impressed me very early, and I was very, very quickly did I fall off the Scoot Henderson train, and they made the right pick.
Yeah, for sure.
So, just when there's name recognition involved and there's players that you've seen perform at the highest levels before the NBA that the United States has to offer, that's what college basketball is.
For sure.
Like Donovan Clingan.
Yeah.
And you don't take him or take a trade to go back for a guy who I feel like if we were going to take the French guy, Salon, I believe Salon, I'll learn how to say it eventually after I hear it 20 times. But taking him, I feel like we could have gotten him a few picks back. People wanted Donovan. Hell, the Trailblazers wanted Donovan. And if we could have just flipped picks or done something to gain something for this, that would have been great. But the same, and me and you had a talk, and then I did more research after we talked last night, and I was just like, how much does Charles Lee have to do with this? How much does, the front office have? Well, apparently this was a Steve Clifford pick.
No shot.
Yeah.
No, he moved to the front office, right?
He moved to the front office.
So flat.
Hey, and so he wanted Brandon Miller.
Steve Clifford did?
Steve Clifford wanted Brandon Miller.
Okay.
So Brandon Miller was a Steve Clifford pick too.
Yeah.
So right now, and I don't know, not all of Steve Clifford's picks have been hits, but hey, the last one was. I'm gonna believe that we see something, and he's the youngest player in the draft, or one of the youngest players in the draft. Doesn't turn 19 until August.
Yeah.
He apparently has a very high motor, and hits moving threes well. He's apparently not good at setting up his zone very much, but if he's moving, apparently he can hit threes, which that's what LaMelo needs.
You don't need to hit his own moving. If he can catch and move and shoot,
yeah. So
you don't need to create his own.
We'll see.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to be positive about it, but it was a little heartbreaking. One, knowing that we could have at least made a move, or we could have picked somebody that just had some name recognition. You know, that's always fun to have, especially. And this is the thing that just irritates me too, is if you go on ESPN's YouTube channel, picks 1 through 5, they have little snippets of the Spurs picked this guy, or and it shows who they picked. They do not have our pick on there. Pick 6 is skipped. Pick 7, Donovan, he's featured. Okay. They literally featured every first 10 picks except our pick, which just does also irritate me because it's just one, if I'm the owner of the Charlotte Hornets, I'm pissed off because why is it my team getting the same media coverage?
Yeah, y'all got the same media right.
Yeah, we get at least hear our guy talk. He was in the fucking green room. We don't even we got to hear the number 1 pick who, and I'm not trying to bash the guy. He's from France. He's a kid. I don't know second languages. So he didn't really have much to say because he really didn't have much to say in English, but he got his point across. Yeah. I want to hear my guy. You know what I'm saying? Why can't my guy just say?
Yeah.
So I don't know. That was just a little irritating that we didn't get any coverage of that at all. Nor did we get here how he fit. It was just this is the Hornets pick. Fuck them. They didn't pick the guy that everybody wanted. And then they moved on. And so I'm just hoping. And I know everybody wants the next Giannis or whatever.
Yeah.
But, that's what I'm hoping for. A young guy who, he's 18, he's 6'9", he's going to get bigger.
Hopefully, yeah.
So, I'm going to try to stay positive. Not the guy I wanted, but the reason why we didn't take the guy I wanted was we're hoping that Mark Williams is our center of the future, and having 2 big guys really wouldn't help us out, I guess. So.
Yeah. And from an outside perspective of the selection, what was the dude from UConn's name again? What was his name?
Donovan Clingan.
I always want to call him Klingon.
It's
Klingon.
Yeah, it's Kling-in. So I don't I would say Klingan,
I think it's Klingan. Yeah.
But
You've been talking about him for quite a while
Mhm.
in terms of like somebody you wanted the Hornets to get, and I grew to become a fan of him. I mean,
Yeah.
2-time champion. How can you not like this 7'2"
Great
guy?
rim, great rim protector. Like,
Yeah.
he wasn't going to be shooting threes, but like Mark Williams was literally out all the year last year, pretty much, and they wouldn't even tell us what he was out with. They would just say back injury. So like, how bad's that back injury? And if we can get a center who is better than him,
Yeah.
and then cool, we have Mark as a backup or whatever, or if he turns out to be a great player, we can trade him off, or whatever. I feel like that would just be better than getting a project player that might not turn out.
Yeah, it seems even though you maybe down the line made the right pick,
Yeah.
it still seems like the Hornets could have handled this situation better. They had the power. This guy dropped, whether he was going to drop or not, to a spot where a lot of teams wanted him. The team right before was willing to trade up to get him.
Yeah, and we did it.
And there was, I think, Memphis or somebody else wanted to trade to your spot to get him before Portland. Seems like, one, you could have done something that a team like you should probably do, which is get maybe some more assets and still maybe get the guy that you want, or just basically trying to get more assets, or drafting a guy like Klingon.
Yeah.
I still don't know if I'm saying his name right, but
Donovan.
a proven guy that's won 2 championships at the highest level that you can in America, like before you hit the NBA, and see if he can spark your team. Like, who's to say you get him, and he's such a good asset to pair with LaMelo and Brandon Miller that you guys make a surprise run and end up as a 7 seed or an 8 seed and win a game or 2 in the playoffs, and you're like, wow, we can build off this. But now it's like you're building a guy to kind of maybe stash for a year, maybe not really play for a year, like
that we hope will turn out like well.
Yeah.
And I mean, and honestly, like, I think where they're planning on putting him is where PJ Washington was for us last year. So I mean, I hope he's better than PJ. PJ did great in Dallas, but PJ was never great for us. He would have those moments where he would come out and like shoot 3 or 4 threes in a game and be like, wow. But
yeah,
you know, I'm just hoping. You know, I'm just trying to stay optimistic because I was super negative last year, and the guy who we got turned out to be who I think arguably could have been the second best rookie, but you know, Chet's really, really good too. So, you know, but I think there's times that Brandon was doing better things on a worse team. And of course, Chet looks good. He's on a winning team. Winning looks good. But I think there was times that Brandon was being asked to be a leader of a team. And I think that needs to, so was Victor. You know what I'm saying? Like, Victor was asked to be, hey, you need to go be the best player on this team. Yeah. And I don't think Chet Holmgren was ever asked to be that.
No. He was definitely, like, he had moments of the second, sometimes even like the fourth, sometimes for that team. But any of, like, other first-round picks that you liked, surprised you, impressed by?
I mean, so I was always looking, like, going through the draft, like, just reading, because really, I just read a lot of mock drafts, and that's how I learn about players. And if one, like, interests me, then, and one that used to, like, who was always top 3 for the longest time was Nikola Topic, and then he dropped to, what?
12 to the Thunder.
Which, of course, the Thunder get a guy who was supposed to be top 3, and now he's probably going to be a great backup point guard for them. But he was a guy who I'm like, man, like, one, why did he drop so much? Yeah. Because, like,
he has a torn ACL. He's going to be out for next year. A whole year.
That might be that. Yeah, that could be the big deal because
he's going to miss the whole first year.
The other thing is, one guy that I was glad we did not get was Steven Castle. Stephon Castle from UConn. He was the point guard from UConn.
Oh yeah, he was drafted before.
Yeah, to the Spurs.
Yeah.
Cannot shoot. And for the Spurs, that might work out great for them because they don't. But like for us, there was a lot of mock drafts that we were going to take him, and if he was going to be our shooting guard, like, yes, he would have been a great defensive asset, but like he would not help spread the floor at all. Like that was just one guy that I didn't feel great about, and now that I've said that, he will be rookie of the year. Yeah. But
I also I dislike not that the Spurs necessarily are, but I dislike teams that draft a player super high when they already have a player in that similar position that's a proven like star or like rising star. Like, you know, like last year. This is why, like, I wasn't a fan of the Scoot Henderson pick for you guys.
Yeah.
Like, that's why last year I was like, I feel like Fitz a better need here than getting who some people think is the clear next best, because pairing Scoot with LaMelo, I feel like it's just redundant and contradictory. Both guys that do well with the ball in their hands when Brandon Miller can play off ball. Like, and another one, like you're talking about a pick you didn't like. I didn't like the Devin Carter point guard for the Sacramento Kings. I didn't like that pick. They're drafting a point guard when they have De'Aaron Fox, unless they're I don't know what they're planning on doing.
And the interesting thing there is, there's a report that came out that said that De'Aaron Fox is not going to sign an extension until he sees what they're doing. So this could be a ploy of, like, okay, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't believe in what we're doing, then later. All right, oops. So, Roman disconnected his mic.
Yep, sorry.
Big oof. But like we were saying, like, it could be a play of, hey, cool, test. We got another guy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or this could be the beginning of maybe them trying to trade away.
Yeah, but
De'Aaron
they've
Fox.
just done it a lot, like in recent memories, at least with the Kings. They drafted Tyrese Halliburton. When initially I was like,
ooh, yeah, if you get rid of both of them. And
Tyrese Halliburton, De'Aaron Fox. I didn't know Tyrese Halliburton was going to be who he was, but I was just like, why were you drafting another guard when you have this guard? And then they drafted Davion Mitchell from Baylor like a year or two ago.
He's more of a defensive guy.
He is. He's more of a defensive guy, but he's a super small point guard that has to play point guard. And it's like, why are you just overloading this guard position? Like they just re-signed Malik Monk. Like, you have two solid guards. Why are you drafting another young guy that has to stand behind these two guys that are so ball dominant? Like, Malik Monk's a shooter. He's going to shoot 10 times a game.
Yeah.
You got De'Aaron Fox, who's definitely going to shoot 10 times a game, and he's going to have the ball in his hands even longer because all the assists he dishes out. You got DeMontis Sabonis, who needs the ball in his hands. Like, just seems like, I know they got Keegan Murray, and I know like they have Harrison Barnes, even though he might be traded, but I just feel like a wing type player is a way better decision at that point than getting a guard. But like you said, if they're trying to move on from De'Aaron Fox or preparing for a De'Aaron Fox departure, probably not the worst decision in the world. I don't like drafting a position of need in the lottery, like a position of not need, definitely clearly not a need position. Like, that's just me. But a couple picks that I really liked. I really like the Alex Sarr guy, the dude the Wizards drafted number 2.
Oh, yeah.
Who was a clear-cut number 1 for a while, they said, and then dropped down to 2 because he apparently didn't want to play for the Hawks, or his agents didn't want him to. I like that. Him being in Washington just kind of sucks. I feel like there's just not a lot of like certainty there.
Especially with him apparently maybe trading away Kyle Kuzma. I've heard a lot of talk about, but I feel like Kyle Kuzma is in every trade talk. So. Yeah,
he's a guy that people would love to have as a fourth, fifth option, maybe even the first guy off the bench type guy. Like, he's a very attractive commodity for like a specific role you want to play.
What about the Grizzlies? So a lot saying reaching on the best center in college basketball, Zach Edey. Like, I gotta
say what you want,
Like, say what you want, and like that dude, no matter what team he played or no matter what that team threw at him, like, he balled. He had a game plan. Now it's old center stuff. He's going to do his little jump hooks. He's going to get but he's very good at it.
Yeah,
and like, I don't know, like, I just how much. Like, how much is that worth nowadays, I guess? But also, I mean, if that's how the Grizzlies want to play, that'd be very interesting. With Ja and him, like, basically having like a Yao, Tracy McGrady, like a big tall guy who can finish around the rim with a little bit of a mid range with a really athletic guard. But I thought maybe a little bit of reach because a lot of people weren't saying he was going to get drafted until like after the lottery. So,
dude, I know. I felt like
drafted or traded back
right after the college basketball season. I felt like there was a lot of mock drafts that had him near the end of the first round, maybe even second round. And it was like, I feel like he deserved at least enough respect to be drafted in the first round based off of his collegiate career. But I think Charles Barkley or someone on inside the NBA says it best. There's 82 game guys and there's 16 game guys. Players you want for the regular season, players you need for the playoffs. And I feel like Zach Edey, if he's going to have an NBA career, it's going to be in the regular season.
Yeah.
Like, he gets to the playoffs, unless we start going backwards in time and people start drafting more people like him where this floor isn't as stretched out, I just feel like come playoff time, he's going to find very limited roles. He's going to go up against teams that have like a Rudy Gobert, or it's going to be very matchup based.
But I think the thing is because I feel like there's a lot of similarities between him and maybe like a Rudy, like a tall, like dominant center.
Yeah.
But I feel like Zach has a much better offensive game than what Rudy Gobert has.
I think Rudy Gobert has a much better defensive game too. Like I think Zach has a good, like a maybe above average defensive game. He's just tall, so it makes it better.
Tall helps.
Yeah, being tall helps. But I think Rudy Gobert does have like a natural sense of defense. Like he has the IQ on defense. So he wouldn't be 4 times defensive player of the year just because he's tall. Like, he's obviously really good. And I don't think Zach Edey is going to be anywhere near like that defensive impact to where he demands to be played in the playoffs because of that. But he does have a really good offensive game.
Another pick that I don't like where he went to, but I kind of wanted Charlotte to draft him was Dalton.
Yeah,
Connect.
Lakers really got a good one.
Yeah,
at least I think like that dude.
I saw some mock drafts where he was getting picked like by us or near like
That's
6, 7,
crazy.
8.
That's crazy.
And I mean,
that was a hell of a steal.
I feel like that would have been great for us because he would have been a guy. He's like 23 or something like that. He's an older player, but like he could come in and probably just produce. You know what I'm saying? Like, what we were going to ask him to do would be what he did in Tennessee and in Western. Where was he at before that? He was in a smaller.
And that's some of the Lakers' best draft picks of like recent memories is like an Alex Caruso, an Austin Reeves, a Kyle Kuzma, guys that played multiple years in college and that came ready to go. That's been Lakers' bread and butter in the draft, and that's how they've been able to even be somewhat relevant.
And then another interesting pick, AJ Johnson.
Oh God!
The Milwaukee Buccaneers take him at 23.
Milwaukee Buccaneers. You call them
did I call them the Buccaneers? No, the Milwaukee Bucks.
That's so funny.
Sorry,
that sounded good though.
Bucks.
The Milwaukee Buccaneers. That sounded good.
But maybe he's a steal, maybe not. I don't know. But he was in the stands. You know, he wasn't in the green room.
Yeah.
He just so happened to be like at the draft.
That's funny.
And like he came down and got his hat and all that shit. Which like. Dude, I don't know if I have the confidence to show up to the draft if I wasn't invited to the green room.
You think he still had to pay to get? You think he had to pay to get in like a fan?
I don't know. I don't know.
If he didn't get invited by the NBA, does he have to pay to get in?
Well, I mean, maybe since you're in the draft, you get in. You just don't get to go sit down. Like you don't get a table. Like, you know.
Maybe. But yeah, I mean, at least you can spin this any way, shape, or form for like maybe another team. But like Milwaukee's standpoint, I don't know why you're drafting this guy. There was this guy mock drafted to go in the early second round, like mid second round. You reach all the way in the first round. Like, why is Milwaukee taking a guy that averaged less than 3 points, less than an assist, and less than 2 rebounds a game in the Australian National Basketball League, by the way, couldn't even play all year long or be a consistent rotational piece because he was so inconsistent in his game. He was weak defensively. He weighs 167 pounds. Doesn't have 167 pounds. He is not ready. And Milwaukee, looking at Milwaukee, you got Dame and Giannis. Why the hell are you drafting this guy? This guy is years, and this guy might be the farthest in the draft in terms of years away from being ready to produce. He might be the farthest away. Like I'm a bash this pick no matter like who picked it. Whether it's I'm not that I'm even a Milwaukee hater, but just like this was a questionable pick by Milwaukee. You could have gotten this guy in the second round. You reach in the first round, you could have gotten somebody like a Knet or like the dude that the Celtics picked that we'll talk about in a second. But
the very next pick was Keshawn George, who was the guard from Miami. He was like 6'7". He's fucking huge for a guard, but like. I remember seeing him like up and down like in certain mock drafts too. Yeah. And like
Ryan Dunn too. Like the Bucks could have gotten Ryan Dunn, a guy that's being called the best defender in the draft when you were a very inconsistent defending team last year.
Dude is a dog, man. Yeah. He like every time Carolina had to play Virginia, dude, I hated it because I knew he was going to lock down.
I wanted him so bad.
Yeah, like
I wanted the Celtics to get him so bad.
Yeah, he was so good. It made me so mad.
Yeah.
So then right there towards the end, how do you feel about ooh, man, Baylor Shamir, man.
Shamir, man. Initially, like, I didn't know the dude. Like I didn't do enough. But, like, after the draft last night, I stayed up a couple hours just watching, like, talks about him before the Celtics got him. So I didn't hear any, like, Celtics bias or anything. And, like, just projections in his careers and stuff. And he seems to be a perfect fit for what the Celtics want. I mean, I questioned why we got a guy that was so old. Considering Brad Stevens a couple days ago said that whoever we're drafting, if we draft anybody, if we keep the picks or not, they're not going to see the floor next year more than likely because our team's so good. We have such a solid initial rotation that they might not see the floor. And then we draft a guy that's going to be 24 by the start of next season. I questioned it. I was like, why are we doing this? But then at the same time, I had to like take a step back and be like, why did he do this? He did this because you don't want to draft a guy that's 18, 19 years old that has an ego that maybe was supposed to be lottery picked, fell out of the lottery, and then we got to steal at the end of the draft. That's like, I can be the star of a team. We don't need a guy who wants to come in and be the star of the team. We need a guy that's going to come in, play a role for us, and play it well. And this dude seems to do it. He is the only dude in Division I history to get 2,000 points, 1,000 rebounds, 500 assists, and 300 threes made in a collegiate career. So that's wild.
Feel good?
Yeah.
Feel good.
Feel good. He's gonna shoot a lot of threes. He's supposedly being called the best moving defender or the best moving shooter of the draft. He can create off the dribble, catch and shoot on the move, kind of like a JJ Redick type guy. But he's like 6'6", 6'7", and he had averaged 9 rebounds a game as a 6'6" guard last year. So I'm excited. Yeah, he's probably not going to see the floor for a year or two. He might see it occasionally next year, but yeah, I'm excited for the.
I mean, and you
can't go wrong if you just won the championship. You can't make a bad pick.
Yeah,
can't make a bad pick.
So then, I was also looking at some guys who haven't been picked yet that have been moved down to the second round, and there's some that I'm pretty surprised about, but not really. Like Kyle Flipowski. Like
Celtics have been linked to him.
Yeah, well, he fucking sucks. He went to Duke, so no wonder why he dropped so low. He's soft, and he will be in the NBA. Also, the funnest name in the draft, I feel like, and I guess I don't know how to pronounce this because you're saying it's Murphy.
Oh no, sorry,
Furphy. Johnny Furphy. God, dude, I never really cared about a Kansas player, but I would love to get a Furphy. We could be the Furries. The Furfies. The Furfies.
Yeah.
But I saw a lot of talk about him. Like I really wasn't paying attention, but he was the 18th overall rated prospect, and he dropped out of the first round. So I wonder what's going on there.
He had a pretty inconsistent season.
Did he?
Yeah. There was times where I was a fan of him, times I wasn't a fan of him. I wish he would have come back to solidify himself. But I mean, when people are telling you you're a projected top 20 pick in the draft, I don't blame you for going. But we've had plenty of times, and I don't know if North Carolina isn't really known for a lot of one and dones.
We're not. We like to keep our guys around.
Yeah, but like we've had a bunch where like as soon as they decided to leave, I was like, why did you leave? You weren't ready. Like Josh Shelby, like years ago, like a undersized like shooting guard, and he decided to go for the draft. He got picked like top 30, I think, but he never panned out. Wayne Selden, love that dude.
It seems like Roy just knew how to speak to him and just tell him like, hey.
Yeah.
You're not ready for that step yet. You just need to keep wearing this good old Carolina blue.
Yeah.
Like we Carolina only has one guy in the whole draft pool, and that's Harrison Ingram. And which I liked Harrison last year. He came from Stanford, so he only played 1 year with us.
Stanford.
But he was good that 1 year with us, and like he's 6'5", 234 pounds. He can shoot threes pretty consistently. Like, so he's a big body. Like, I wouldn't mind scooping him up in the second round, but really, like, I go down this line and I don't see anybody. I mean, there's Cam Spencer. He was pretty good for UConn for their run. I remember him making some big shots. I remember he was a big deal.
Kevin McCullough from KU. I think he's a great guy for like a contending team. If you want someone that can maybe fill a missing piece in your rotation, or like the Denver Nuggets, just like a forward that plays good defense, can kind of score from all levels. I think he's a great veteran college player, I guess, like a guy that's just ready to come in and he knows what he can do, and he can play a role for you. Like any contending team, I think that's a good pick. If you're not a contending team, maybe not a good pick. But I really like him. I think he's hopefully going to have a pretty solid NBA career.
It's also kind of crazy, and I understand like why, because like his build isn't there, but like when you're going through like the top like best available, the fact that I don't see my boy DJ Burns from NC State, like I understand he's not that big of a body and stuff like that, but like he doesn't even get a chance to even get his name on ESPN.
He'll probably sign. He might sign a 2-way contract.
I mean, he probably.
Surprised.
I'm not saying he's not going to get signed somewhere. But like, he doesn't get to be just his name.
Yeah.
Like, just to get to pretend.
Hell of a run for NC State. Yeah. No, I like DJ Burns too. If we get to it today, I've got a NBA NFL roster, and Skylar said I couldn't put him on my team, but I really wanted to put him on my team.
He's not in the NBA.
He's not in the NBA yet.
He might be in the NFL before he gets put in the NBA. But yeah. So I mean, we'll see what happens in round 2. Woohoo!
Where does Bronny James go?
Yeah,
That's what everyone wants to know.
Where's Bronny James going? Is the Lakers going to get him, or
if he doesn't get drafted, the Lakers are going to get him for sure.
I just want to know if some like random team just takes him. You know,
Bill Simmons wants the Celtics to draft him and hold him hostage.
Hey, that'd be funny.
That would be funny.
He gets a dub. He gets a championship while his dad gets the shit.
Hey, Dad, I got a championship younger than you got a championship.
Yeah. First year, Dad, I got a
That's easy.
Yeah. And that's ESPN will paint it that way. They'll be like Bronny will average like 3 minutes a game. And they'll be like, Bronny James and the Celtics versus.
He's gonna win the championship. The title's gonna be like, does Bronny actually have a chance to beat to be better than his father's legacy, or like to best his father's career? Does have a better career than Bronny?
Just about rings.
Yeah,
he can.
Is Bronny already a step in the right direction of passing LeBron James in all-time greatness?
He is the champion, and he did score 7 points in the finals. So
I had my headset on this whole time.
Hey, you're looking real official. So I guess we'll move on to stick in the NBA, but people that are already in the NBA that want to get paid more for being in the NBA. Let's talk about some NBA free agency news or rumors. No news yet, I don't think. But
even we can just jump right into the trades. The trade that happened a couple days ago.
Yeah, some trades too. Yeah.
The Brooklyn Nets wanted to let the Knicks finish their Villanova super team and traded Mikal Bridges to the Knicks for, I think it was 6 total draft picks, 4 unprotected. 6 total draft picks, 4 unprotected. 1 protected from the Bucks, and then a pick swap, and then also a second round pick.
It's a lot of picks, dude. It's a lot of picks, especially with like some pretty good draft classes from what I understand coming up. So like
next year is supposed to be like one of them ones.
I've watched some of his games, but like, is Mikal Bridges that good to like deserve like that's a crazy amount of picks? And,
well, first off, he's Iron Man. That's like his main. That's like his main like draw, I guess, is that he hasn't missed a fucking game yet.
No, I mean,
he's perfect.
And I'm not trying to say, and I think he's good.
Yeah,
but is he worth that many draft picks and that much future?
I don't know.
Is that like if they had him this year, dude? They think they beat the Celtics? You know what I'm saying? Like that's my thing. Is like there's no way that I don't. And there are games that he's gone off for the Nets, but it's easier to be the best player on a bad team. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes, and
he was at best when he played with the Suns with Devin Booker and Chris Paul. Like when they were actually contending like for the playoff, he was like at best their third player at times. And like you said, he's had flashes. Let's just put it this way: he's 27. He's older than Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, and is he worth that much?
Oh yeah, oof.
I don't know. Like that whole team.
That's a lot of picks, bro.
I know. I mean, and this is, and like, well, I'm trying to figure out how to word this, but for the Knicks, they've been stockpiling these picks for a while.
Yeah,
they've been wanting to make a move like this for a while. They just wanted to wait for the right opportunity.
Yeah.
Is the power of friendship the right move?
Oh yeah, dude.
I don't know,
dude. Every anime has told me yes.
Yeah, but that is also true. Like Jalen Brunson, Dante DiVincenzo, Josh Hart. They all had great, their run at the end of the season last year in the playoffs. It was great. Like, Josh Hart, one of the best rebounders in the league, and that's fucking insane considering that man's 6'5". Like, he averaged 11.5 rebounds last year. Like, that's kind of crazy. Dante DiVincenzo looked great. Like, he was hitting big shot after big shot after big shot. But I get the move they're trying to do. They got their baller. They got their scorer, the guy with the ball in their hands. Now they have 2 very versatile two-way wings in Mikal Bridges and OG Anunoby, who just signed a 4-year, $200 million.
How are they working all this too? Like,
I don't know. Also, the OG Anunoby, another question mark. Like, is he worth that much money? I don't know. Like, he's a great two-way player, but come on, I don't know. And they got Mitchell Robinson still on their roster. Supposedly
going to be coming back.
Randall, I don't know if he's going to be coming back.
Oh, you think they're going to trade him?
They might. I don't know. I don't know how you can have the people that you have now paying who you have and be like, okay, we're going to get this guy back who probably believes he's the second best player on this team. Like, do we want him to be the second best player on this team? Is he
what if he doesn't? What if Julius the whole time has been in the background and been like, hey, I see that there's a young guy revolution going on here, and I'm down to be just the really good. I'm down to be the Udonis Haslem. I'm down to just be
if he could
really
be a Draymond Green, if he could take a Draymond Green approach, because he's a good playmaker. Like, that man got a lot of triple. That one year when he was balling, like when it was just him in New York, he was getting triple doubles like crazy, and he was an all-star. He was playing like one of the best players in the league. I think he made All NBA like third team that year, something like that. But if he can take that approach where he's a playmaker on that team, a rebounder, plays good defense, and, you know, he hits timely buckets. His outside shot's inconsistent at times, and he's a chucker at times. But, yeah, if he can accept a role on that team and not demand to have the ball in his hand the second most behind Jalen Brunson, then I say it works. But his stock is only going down in terms of value and trade.
He's getting older.
He's getting older. And this year, if he tries to be that guy and he can't be that guy, then he has basically no trade value. So, like, do you trade him while he's at the highest he can possibly be at this moment? He probably can't go any higher.
Yeah.
Maybe. Do you hope he accepts the role and proceeds to play well and fit with this team? Sure. But, yeah, I mean.
But I think the Nets, they knocked it out of the park, bro. They got
definitely,
a shit ton of picks.
They got a shit ton of picks.
And also, they got their picks back from Houston.
They did.
That they traded for James Harden. And that pick is for next year's draft.
And they're going to be really bad.
So
hopefully.
Yeah, and I mean, they're going to be really bad. So they're lining themselves up to get, what's his name?
Cooper Flag.
Yeah, Cooper Flag or whatever. Yeah. There's some kid, the two other kids that I keep seeing like are going to be top 3 picks, both committed to Rutgers. Is Rutgers about to be, are they about to be a fucking team this year? Like,
I don't know. That's interesting. I didn't know that. The Knicks, personally from a Celtics fan standpoint, at this moment in time, I'm not moved. If they get back Isaiah Hartenstein, if Mitchell Robinson can stay healthy, if Julius Randle either gets traded or accepts his role, maybe I am. They've got a lot of good defenders on that team. Jalen Brunson, he's going to get picked on constantly in the playoffs. So, like, almost every single person that exists on our team currently can attack Jalen Brunson one-on-one. Yeah. So, like, I'm not terribly moved by it. They do have a really good team, and I think they'd be one of the best teams in the East. As a contending team, I'm not moved by all the moves that they made. From the Nets' perspective, it's very – I'm not going to say easy to make this move, like to make this trade and get all these picks back, because it's not, because you have to accept a rebuild, and, you know, fans don't always want to rebuild. Fans aren't always happy with the rebuild.
They weren't great anyways with
They weren't. So. But the hardest part is in front of them. Like, so many teams take this approach, and they're like, yeah, maybe not stockpile as much assets as they have, but accept the rebuild, right? And they stockpile picks, or they keep their picks and just tank and decide to draft.
Yeah.
The hardest part is drafting the right people.
No, Hornets. It's hard to draft the right people.
Like the Danny Ainge and the Celtics, they get a lot of credit for the 2013 trade with Paul Pierce and the Nets to get the picks that ended up being Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown.
Yeah.
If you look at those drafts, look how easy it was to make the wrong decision. Like, you look at the people drafted ahead of Jaylen Brown and after Jaylen Brown.
Well, y'all also got not that y'all got lucky, but with Jason Tatum, he was the third pick?
He was the third pick, and we had the first pick, and we traded back to get him.
Yeah, so you just got lucky that two ding-dongs were taking Lonzo and
Markelle Fultz.
Yeah.
Well, he was the first. I'm gonna be honest. I'm in kind of your boat with the Scoot Henderson thing. I was like, why are we not drafting this guy that's the clear number 1 pick?
Markelle Fultz?
Yeah.
I never really liked him because he was out of Washington, right? And I don't think
it was the time where having a tall, versatile point guard was such a big thing. And I was like, and I'm a Duke hater. I'm not going to lie. I love Jason Tatum now. But man, do I fucking hate Duke players.
Yeah, Duke sucks.
But so I was like, Markelle Fultz, I was like, we need a point guard of the future. Let's fucking go. And then we traded away. I was like, what are we doing? And then, I was sold before the season even started. I was like, okay, we made the right decision. And then Jaylen Brown, he was such a raw prospect. But I mean, that's the thing with Nets and teams that are rebuilding. You gotta hope this right now. It's easy to feel optimistic, be like, man, let's go. We got all these picks. We're built. We can build for the future. But if you start missing on some picks, man, that rebuild's gonna take a lot longer.
You just hope that you can be like the Thunder, man, and get all these picks and then do something with them, dude. Because I think you're about to pull the thing where all
Sam
the players
Presti,
or you just hire Sam Presti.
Sam Presti is also get yourself a good GM that knows how to draft. Sam Presti has drafted in the top 12 9 times as a GM. Here are the 9 players: Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, James Harden, Steven Adams, Josh Giddey, Chet Holmgren, Jalen Williams, Carson Wallace, Nikola Topic. That's crazy. Carson Wallace is looking like a great backup point guard, possibly even a good starting point guard in the future. Like, he's a young guy. So, like, he's still the jury's still out on him. Josh Giddey, you can say what you want about him, but he's got potential. But
I
crazy.
hate Oklahoma City so much.
Yeah, they're so good.
Like, I hate
they don't
so
have
much.
a championship to show for that. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah, but
honestly.
I say them so much because, like, they're pretty much like the Charlotte of the West, like a small market team.
They just draft well.
They just draft so well and do all the things that we don't do.
Yeah.
So, like, they're always relevant and they're always good. And even when they're not good, they have young players that are just interesting to watch.
Yeah. Poor Hornets fans.
Oh.
But in other free agency draft or post NBA offseason news, big one that's being talked about right now is Paul George.
Paul
George seems to be on his way out of the Clippers.
I can't blame him, dude. I wouldn't want to play with James Harden and Kawhi Leonard.
Well, no. Here's the issue: James Harden's a free agent, so they don't know the future of him. But the issue that I've seen all over the place is that they aren't meeting his contract needs, his wants. He wants to be paid more than Kawhi. They're not willing to pay him more than Kawhi. I'd be pissed too. He's worth more than Kawhi. The best ability is availability.
Yeah, he's on the court all the time, and I can't tell you how many times I watched the Clippers game last year that looked like the Clippers were going to lose, and Paul George would just do some crazy shit, and it wasn't always scoring. He would just make big plays, and it's just like, wow, like
24 points a game and 1% away from the 50-40-90 club. Like he deserves to be paid like the best player on that team because he's the best player on that team most of the year because Kawhi don't play.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, sure, in a perfect world, who's the better player healthy? Yeah, it's Kawhi. But Kawhi's not. He's not healthy. Like, I just can't believe they're letting this guy walk because he wants to get paid more than a guy that doesn't show up to half their games.
And hey, I mean, bad move by the Clippers. I mean, you know, the one that I keep seeing that people are saying is Golden State is very willing to pay him whatever the money that he wants.
Yeah, anything to stop the rebuild.
Yeah,
because it seems like Clay's out the door as well.
Yeah, so I mean, but if you can get Paul George, bro, like, so I'm not trying to downplay Clay because Clay was very, very important for all the success that Golden State had. But you just go and get another shooter that can shoot. I mean, it's hard to find one like Clay, but you get another really good shooter. You put Paul George in there, and I know he's not as good as Kevin Durant, but you're kind of putting together a team that's very similar to the one that won you the championship. So,
and their rookie from last year, his name's like Brandon something.
Oh yeah,
like,
Brandon P.
Like, He started. He was stroking it. Sorry, I said I should say pause after it. Stroking it. Last year, and he was playing really well. He earned the starting job over Clay. They benched Clay for that guy.
So,
getting a different type of guy, like unlike Clay, where Clay's like more of catch and shoot, like doesn't need a lot of dribbles to get a shot, versus a guy who's really good at creating his own shot, like that's also not afraid to pass the ball, make the extra pass,
and can defend probably 1 through 4 at most. You know what I'm saying? Like,
he played a lot of power forward.
I don't think Clay could do that anymore.
No, not anymore. He's definitely he's definitely a pretty like shell of his former defensive self, and that's not a disrespect to him currently. That's just a props to what he was back in the day. Like he was a menace.
Yeah, that's what happens when you play for a long time, bro.
And get 2 like ACL, MCL injuries, like crazy.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, if he ends up in the Warriors, they're right back to in contention with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Sorry for like if you guys hear my nose and shit. Like
it's gross.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Everybody type in the comments. That's gross.
Yeah, I'm also still over here trying to pop my fucking ear, man. It's killing me.
You worried
right
about
now.
that? No.
Okay. Why are you worried about it?
You seem kind of worried about it.
I just want to pop it. It's bugging me.
So okay, but yeah, I mean, I don't think there's really hasn't been much else. You know, Alex Caruso going.
Alex Caruso, Josh Giddey swap. I mean,
yeah.
And I know Bulls fans are kind of roasting their franchise for this, but let's at least giving them some credit. So like, let's say they made a trade like with Milwaukee, like in the trade deadline, there was rumors that Milwaukee was willing to offer up to 2 first-round picks for Alex Caruso. Sure, you make that trade, you get 2 first-round picks. Let's say it's 25 and 26. What are those picks going to be in retrospect? More than likely, middle 20s. And you're probably not getting any value back in terms of players back. And you could say that for any of the contending teams that wanted to trade with them for Alex Caruso. You're getting picks back that aren't picks that you want back. Like, maybe not that you don't want back, but that aren't going to be value when those come. Like, whether you can end up trading for them or not, trading those away for better picks, that's
tough.
That's tough, yeah. This was a good trade for them to make sure they got something with potential back.
Yeah.
Like, they got a 21-year-old. Forget the off-court stuff. Like, that's whatever it is, like disgusting, whatever, if it's true. But like, they got a guy on the court that has a lot of potential.
Yep. I mean, there's that, and then there was that trade, which, I mean, at the end of the day, I think, the Thunder got better.
Got a veteran piece, really good veteran piece. A much needed veteran piece.
Yeah, help out with defense and just be a hard player, like a hard motor player. And that always, when you have a player out there that's willing to like just play tough all the time, it affects and it gives like other players a want to play that way, And then there was one more trade that happened that I found kind of interesting, and it was the Minnesota Timberwolves trading for the 8th pick for Rob Dillingham, and then trading away some picks like in 2030
for 6th and 7th graders, baby.
Yeah. And to me, like, because who they trade? They trade the Spurs, that right?
Yeah.
Smart. Yeah, smart pick for the Spurs.
I think, yeah.
They already got a top 10 point guard in this draft with Steven Castles, and he so he already took up that role.
Yeah.
And now you're kind of betting on the Timberwolves not being able to keep up whatever's going on right now for the next 7 years from now.
It's a long time.
Like 6-7 years from now.
It's a long time.
Yeah, and like, to be honest, like, Rudy's definitely not going to be there. He'll be way too old.
Yeah.
Karl-Anthony Towns ain't going to be there. The only one that can realistically be there would be Anthony Edwards, I feel like.
And do we trust Minnesota to build around him continuously after these pieces are gone?
Does he stay around that long? You know what I'm saying? Like, does he stay
around? They got a good
long?
point guard, I think, though. They got a good point guard in the draft, Minnesota?
Well, they got Rob Dillingham.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
They got the guy who they traded for. But, like, he was pretty good at Kentucky. So, clearly he would take over, I guess, for Mike Conley, which could definitely help them out, having one more scorer on the team.
And John Calipari's got a good track record with point guards. He's developed some pretty solid NBA point guards.
Yep. So, I think that was a very smart play on the Spurs half, because I think you were saying it last night when we were talking about it, that also gives them, so like, let's say and who knows what the draft class will be like in those draft classes.
Yeah.
But it literally gives them.
They're on summer break right now.
Yeah, yeah. But like, it gives the Spurs a great opportunity to get a crazy high draft pick in the middle of Victor's like prime, like when he should be blowing up and he should be the face of the NBA. So think about that. Think about if LeBron was there at Cleveland and they just so happened just to have the number 1 draft pick because they traded like way early in his career. Like, I don't know. I think
it's happened. It used to happen back in like the like 70s and 80s, where like stupid trades would happen. Like the Lakers, like they just won a title, and I think it was Magic Johnson they got the first overall pick right after they won the championship.
Was it? I don't know.
I don't remember. They did, and the Celtics did too. Right after winning the championship, they got a number 1 overall pick, and that's when they drafted Len Bias. I know this stuff, but when you get a mic in front of your face, you start to draw a blank.
Hey, you just gotta say it confidently, all right? And hope that nobody has time to look it up, all right?
Marty has time.
Yeah, well, you know what? Oh, well. One person has time.
But I'm just drawing a blank on who it is. But it's happened in the past. But yeah, if the Spurs can build a contending team and then they just get lucky enough in 2030, 2031, they got a top 10 pick in the draft, and it's a stacked draft class with all these talent, and you're able to pair some dude next to Wemby in his prime. I mean, not a bad move at all. Not a bad move.
It's what I do in 2K when I do my GM game modes, and I go back to where I can start drafting back in the 90s, so I know when all the good players are coming out. I stack them draft picks up, baby, and I win championships, and I get first-round picks. And sure, nobody develops into the all-star that they're supposed to be because they're on a stacked team all the time, but I'm getting championships.
For the good of the good of the team, championships.
And who doesn't want to see the Charlotte Hornets win 16 out of 20 possible championships? I think everybody in the NBA wants to see that.
Yeah, purrs, but
Not dynasty, we call it dictatorship.
we call it a dictatorship. Oh man! But I mean, any other free agency news? I mean,
not top of my head.
Free agency starts July 1st. So I mean, we'll probably be talking about that next week quite a bit once that rolls around.
Once the rumors become fact, we'll let y'all know.
Should be pretty interesting. But yeah.
Yeah, but let's move on to the NFL.
Yeah. So yeah, now we're gonna get into some rankings. We're in the off season, fun stuff. Where we can just talk about like the season that's coming up for NFL and NBA, and kind of just fantasize and give our predictions of our opinions that obviously hold so much weight to what is actually true because we are podcasting experts. I mean, we're sports experts here.
Yeah, I sit in front of a microphone and talk about sports, meaning I have a lot of knowledge about sports.
My ranking is basically the word of God. So if you disagree, you just don't know ball.
Ian Rappaport.
So, yeah.
Who? Shams, who?
So me and Skylar are going to give our top 10 NFL QBs.
Okay.
And even though
we'll start at number 10.
We'll start at number, we're going to say I go 10, you go 10.
Yeah, sure.
But before, I want to say, I know a lot more, and I follow NBA a lot more than I follow the NFL. So
that's fine.
Don't like.
I have put no effort into this.
Yeah, so don't send me to the cross because of what I'm telling you. Because I don't know shit.
We all have opinions, Roman, and you got to remember, if they want their opinion to be stated out loud, they should go buy microphones and start a podcast.
If you guys want to spend $10,000 like we did,
yeah, we spent $1 million on all of our
just to start this podcast.
We're waiting for a return.
All right, number 10 for me. Matthew Stafford.
Oh, wow. Matthew Stafford for you, huh? Man, see, I
just want you guys to know. I have a notes that I have been working on for like 4 days, and Scott
go ahead and tell us why Matthew Stafford.
Scooter's just sitting here with nothing.
Go ahead and tell us why Matthew Stafford. I'm gonna scribble down some stuff while you tell me why Matthew Stafford.
Yeah. I'm looking. It's a lot better if I tell you the rest of the list, but. I think he's still got some to give, and I think he's been a top quarterback for a very long time. I still think he has the ability to be a top 10, and this is like going into this year. This is not a top 10 that like you're building around. So like we're not going to put like you want to if you can, but like C.J. Stroud, like you can put him at number 2 if you really think he belongs there. But mine is like coming into this year, like what the quarterbacks look like right now. If we want to go potential. Like this list would not probably have Matthew Stafford on it, so it's just my top 10 currently now coming into the season. Just want to make that clear for the peeps.
Yeah, give me 1 second. I'm over here just scribbling some stuff down real quick.
I can do just my whole list first if you want.
Yeah, you want to do your whole list? Give me some ideas over here, huh?
Yeah. Number 10 is Matthew Stafford. Number 9 and 8, I feel like I could kind of go back and forth, but I think 8 had a stronger year last year, which is why I'm going to rank him higher. But 9 is Jordan Love for me. Okay. I'm a big Jordan Love fan. Obviously, Green Bay Packers, they've got a great track record of drafting a QB, letting him sit under a great QB, and then letting that QB then be great after that QB leaves. So I really like Jordan Love. He's my number 9. Jared Goff is 8 for me.
Oh, wow.
I think he had a really great year last year. Then I think he's pretty young still. I don't even know if he's hit his 30s yet. I could be wrong.
Another big contract.
Yeah.
They at least want him there for a few more years.
Yeah. So I really like him. I think he's proven the doubters wrong. He had a lot of haters, like thought he was going to Detroit to die, and he's really proved them wrong. And I think he deserves a top 10 spot.
I think that also has to do a lot with Dan Campbell. He's an amazing coach, and
he is.
I would love to have him running my team anytime.
Number 7, Dak Prescott.
Oh, Dak Prescott.
Yep.
Dak Prescott fills a hole for me right here. Dak Prescott fills that hole right there for me.
I like Dak Prescott. He had a great year last year. Yes, it didn't end playoff wise how you wanted to, but people can talk shit on the Cowboys all you want, but there's not a lot of QBs, especially in the NFC, that people would want at QB outside of Dak Prescott. He's a good QB. Number 6, Trevor Lawrence. Yeah.
Hey, I'm just reacting.
He's got a facial expression for everyone I do. I don't know if he's questioning my pick or whether I didn't have this guy on my list. Let me move this guy out.
Hey, who knows what's going on over here, Roman? You just keep talking, bro.
Trevor Lawrence. He's a prodigy. Not prodigy, but like he's a good QB. He's got a very high potential. Number 5, and he could easily move much higher up this list as the season goes on. C.J. Stroud.
Yep.
Great showing last year.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely the best rookie last year. Clearly. By far.
Yeah.
Not even close.
Yeah, definitely.
Much better
Yep.
than the guy that can't even see over his offensive lineman.
Yeah. I wasn't happy about both my so as a Hornets and Panthers fan, I wasn't happy, like I said, about Brandon Miller at first, but now I am happy about him. But I was never happy about Bryce Young. And Bryce has to do a lot. I want to believe that the turmoil of the Panthers organization just being so shitty is what held him back. And apparently, we didn't even work on him with his footwork when he got into the NFL. That's the type of shit that we weren't doing for him. Now we are.
Yeah.
So hopefully that stuff helps and he gets better. But yeah, dude, I always wanted C.J. Stroud, and I was very, very sad when I heard Bryce Young.
Number 4, Joe Burrow. Mm-hmm. Didn't see a lot of him last year. Injured, all that jazz. But still think he's a great QB.
Mm-hmm.
Number 3, Josh Allen.
Okay.
What else is there to say? I mean, he would probably be viewed a lot higher in other people's eyes if Patrick Mahomes didn't exist. Mm-hmm. But Patrick Mahomes exists, so he's at number 3. I think 3 and 4 and 5 could be moved around quite a bit this year. I think C.J. Stroud could hop both of them.
If he has a really good year, yeah.
Number 2, some people that might be listening to this may feel this is controversial. I feel like this shouldn't be controversial at all. I feel like this is clear. Number 2, Lamar Jackson.
Okay.
You take any other QBs that I just mentioned that would have 2 MVPs up to this point in their career where Lamar Jackson is, they would probably all be clear and concise number 2, but for some reason, because Lamar Jackson runs the ball or whatever the case is, people don't want to give him the respect he deserves, but Lamar Jackson number 2. And then number 1, Justin Herbert. No, I'm just kidding. Patrick Mahomes. Fuck off. But yeah, Justin Herbert's not on the list. I know
Justin
that might
Herbert's not on the list?
I know that might be a hot take. But I don't know. Man, he's shown up he's putting up maybe I don't want to say empty stats, but he hasn't blown me away. I mean, he went to the playoffs and had the 24-point lead against the Jacksonville Jaguars, and let's just be frank, you have a 24-point lead, your offense probably cost you the game if you lose that game because your offense got to keep rolling.
Yeah, but
you got to do something. Your defense does, but come on, you have Justin Herbert, who's supposed if you want to say he's a top 10 quarterback, why isn't he scoring more points to get your team to secure a win? You have a 24-point lead at halftime.
I feel you.
Come on,
I feel you.
That's just a hot take. That's probably my hot take of the. But like I said, I'm no expert. I don't know all these quarterbacks.
And I have an expert list right here that I've been painstakingly crafting over the past 45 seconds.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna do a little bit of I'm gonna cheat a little bit here. I have a tie at 10th.
Okay.
All right, and that's
Brock Purdy was also right outside 10 for me, by the way.
Oh, was he?
Yeah. Sorry.
Okay. Well, my tie for 10th is Trevor Lawrence and Jordan Love. I think they're both 2 great young quarterbacks that I hope we see. I think the further away we get from God, I can't think of his name. What was the Ohio State coach that went and coached for? I can't.
Oh, Urban Myers.
Yeah, Urban Myers. I think the more that he gets away from Urban Myers, the better that Trevor will get.
Yeah.
Jordan Love, I think, had a great year. I mean, and the Packers always know how to set up their quarterbacks for success.
Yeah.
So I really think I think he'll only get better. So I'll take those 2. And strong number 9, I have Brock Purdy. I do know that a lot of people say that he is he's a result of a system, but a quarterback that was drafted way ahead of him could not be a product of that system, I guess. And so clearly he has something going on, even though he is surrounded by a bunch of weapons. But that's also not his fault. And
it's also not his fault.
And we've seen quarterbacks be surrounded by weapons before and not be able to get them the ball. So I'll put him at number 9. Then at number 8, I have Justin Herbert. I know you don't like him. I one time traded him to me in the Madden league that we had, and he was great. He gets some brownie points from me there. And also, you're right. He had a bad game where the 24-point lead got slipped. So did Matt Ryan. But I'm not going to say Matt Ryan was a bad quarterback. Did he have a bad game, and is it embarrassing to be a part of that situation? Sure. But Matt Ryan was a great quarterback. I don't think that was ever in question just because of a bad.
Matt Ryan was going up against Tom Brady.
Yeah, but
Justin Herbert was going up against Trevor Lawrence.
Well, no, Matt Ryan was going against the Patriots defense.
That is also yes.
So let's be
yes.
And then after that, we have who's this supposed to be?
Also, talk about weapons. Justin Herbert's had weapons.
Yeah,
say that.
Who am I thinking here? Oh yeah, Jared Goff. Jared Goff is next.
At 7? Is that 7?
Yep. At 7, Jared Goff. Like you were saying, nice resurgence. Everybody thought he was kind of done after he got traded away from LA, and it turns out that even though Matt Stafford had a very good first year there, it might look like Jared Goff might have a better long term like turnaround with his new team, because I think the Rams are already kind of getting tired of Matt Stafford. I think he might.
Was he your top 10? Was he your top 10?
Nope.
You didn't name him?
I have not named Matt Stafford yet. Nope. Then at number 6, I have Dak Prescott. I think Dak would be up a lot more if he didn't suck in every single playoff game that he played in. Like I just feel like he gets real questionable.
Higher than I do.
Yeah, I feel like he gets real questionable around that time. A guy who I'm ready to see him play more playoff games, and the guy that Carolina should have taken at number 5, I have C.J. Stroud. I think C.J. Stroud was great. Everybody wants to say that he had great weapons around him. I think he had okay weapons around him, and now he's getting ones even better with Stephon Diggs. That I think he'll just be able to take that next step. Above him, I have Josh Allen, a guy whose weapons went to Houston. Now we're about to see how good Josh Allen is without an all-star wide receiver, because I don't think he has one now. I forget who his starting receiver is, but I don't think
they lost Gabe Davis.
Yeah, they lost Gabe Davis too. So, like
he went to the Jags, I think, right? Mm-hmm. Gabe Davis, yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, Trevor Lawrence with Gabe Davis, interesting.
Yep. And then above him is Joey B, Joe Burrow. He's a dog. He has a bunch of dogs around him. T. Higgins is there this year again, for the very least. Jamar Chase, great. You know, they just got weapons all around. So I think he'll do fine. Number 2 is Lamar Jackson. Lamar's great. I mean, you know, partially running back, but he gets the job done. And hopefully he's another guy whose wide receivers will upgrade. I mean, didn't they get somebody new this year? I know their young receivers.
They got Derrick Henry.
Yeah, they got Derrick Henry. Yeah. That should really actually help him out too, not having to run as much. So we'll see what happens there. And then, of course, number 1, he's the best. He is number 1 from the draft 1 year ago. It's Bryce Young. Bryce Young. I was kidding. Number 1 is Patrick Mahomes. I mean, it's hard to not say Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
He ever since he
unless you're Skip Bayless.
Yeah, unless you're Skip Bayless, he doesn't like Skip.
Joe Burrow over Skip Bayless, or Joe Burrow over Patrick Mahomes for Skip Bayless.
Is it?
That's what he said. He said he'd still take Joe Burrow over Patrick Mahomes.
I can't say that, but I would take either one of them over Bryce Young.
Wow. Yeah. What a hot take over here from Scooter.
I throw the hottest takes.
Yeah.
Honestly, if I had to rank where Bryce Young was in the 32 teams that are available, man, he's down there. He's
down 28, 29?
Yeah, probably, dude. Like, Bryce has to do a lot. Like, everybody wants to go back.
Big year for him.
Huh?
Big year for him.
Big year for him, dude. Because, honestly, if he doesn't, like, David Canales, new head coach of the Panthers, he was the guy who was responsible for, partially, but mainly responsible for Geno Smith turning his life around in Seattle. And then he goes down to Tampa and turns Baker Mayfield's life around down there. And I'm hoping he can do the same. But if not, I mean,
what do you do?
Yeah, like your head coach that was given this quarterback that isn't good, move on. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I hope we do.
But maybe it's a multi-year thing, because he's getting quarterbacks that are played in the league for multiple years, not just 1 year. So like, you got Baker Mayfield's been there for like 6-7 years, whatever. Geno Smith 6-7 years, whatever. So like, he got some veteran guys that have seen enough NFL to where he can figure out what they need. Maybe he needs a couple years.
Bryce is supposed to be one of the smartest guys ever to get on the field, from what I hear. So we'll see. But
can't teach height.
Those are my top 10.
Hey, let us know. Let us know who had the better one. I put a little thought into mine, but maybe my bias of Justin Herbert hurt me.
I heard a lot of the same names.
Yeah.
I heard a lot of the same names. So, but then are we doing?
Yeah. I kind of teased it with the boys, so like I feel bad to at least not do one of these. So we talked a couple episodes ago of the NFL versus NBA debate, who could transfer to like which sport and succeed. So through this last week, I took it upon myself to make rosters for both.
Mm-hmm.
This week, I will do. Which one do you want me to do? NFL of NFL roster of NBA players or NBA roster of NFL
whichever one
players?
you feel more confident about. Which one do you think we can actually win a game?
Honestly,
I think I'm gonna let you know. I think no matter who you put up there, I think the team that you put from the NBA over to the NFL would have a much harder time winning a game than the other way around. I think the NFL players.
I also think because they play 82 games. I don't know. I'm looking at the NBA roster of NFL players, and I am not convinced that these guys could win a game.
All right, who you got?
You want to do
NFL? Let's do that.
All right, my NBA roster of NFL players. This is a 17-man roster because I have two-way contracts on here.
Oh, wow, okay.
So I'm going to put this in perspective of like what my mindset going into these lists were.
Yeah, so you're an expansion team and you get to choose.
No, not an expansion team. So we basically I guess maybe an expansion team. Yeah, I guess none of the rosters are being changed of the other NBA teams. So, this is a team just being dropped into the NBA.
And our only choice was NFL players.
And the only choice was NFL players. They're going into, training camp and all the offseason stuff, the normal. Yesterday, the NBA Finals just ended. Celtics are champions. Now, the next day, it's like, this NBA team of NFL players is coming into the league, and they're doing all the offseason stuff. They don't get to draft any NBA people out of college. It's all NFL players. I'm going to start from the bottom, and I'm going to go up.
Okay.
My two-way players who, throughout the season, could earn a spot, and one of these other players could get cut if these players are showing more.
Okay.
I guess I say two-way players. These guys, I guess it's tough to say two-way players because then they'd be in the G League playing against NBA players.
It would just be
maybe
two.
it's weird. We're just gonna put these guys as
because it'd just be two of them.
They're like rookies, quote unquote rookies, or young guys that have potential to actually
reserves.
make the team.
They're just reserves.
Just sign guys in the offseason that could get cut if they don't perform. I have Drake May, QB of the Patriots. His brother played for North Carolina.
Yeah, he was a good basketball player.
He was a good basketball player. He has another brother, I think, that played basketball too, but just wasn't as successful. Yeah. He played basketball in high school.
Yeah.
He could have just that instinct, that blood, that May blood that he could show up.
His brother's a winner. Luke May has some big shots for us.
Cooper DeJean.
Oh, yeah, Cooper DeJean.
DeJean from the Eagles.
Yep.
He has apparently a really sick hoops mixtape, like a Ball is Life mixtape. I watched it from high school. Really fucking pretty impressive from high school. Pretty impressive. Cracking the 15-man roster.
All right, so those two, they may
not. They're a little young, a little experienced. Maybe not. Maybe so. Who knows? Cracking the actual roster in my eyes. Number 15, Tyreek Hill. I kind of had reasons for all these guys on why they would make the roster.
Yeah.
Mine for Tyreek Hill is fast as fuck.
He is very fast.
He's very fast.
Very fast.
He has some little highlights of him playing ball.
He probably jump.
Yeah,
he probably jump like a Nate Robinson.
He's very undersized.
Yeah.
Hopefully his speed just translates.
Nate Robinson blocked Yao Ming one time, so
he's 15th man on the roster, so he's probably not seen a lot of playing time.
Yeah.
Number 14, I really couldn't make a decision. I felt like my bias was getting in the way of this, so I didn't pull the trigger on a specific person. Travis Kelce or TJ Hawkinson.
Oh.
Hawkinson, a lot more I guess track record. He scored almost 2,000 points in high school, for his high school team. He had dreams of wanting to go play division basketball. Yeah. He didn't. Travis Kelce believes that if he put in the time and the effort they did in the NFL, that he could make an NBA roster. That's what he said on his podcast. Not saying it from my mouth and taking it from his mouth. That's what he said.
He also scored with Taylor Swift. So
he also scored with Taylor Swift, so he's got a chance.
Impressive.
Nick Foles. This might be a surprising one to people.
Philly special.
Yeah. He was a very well-known high school basketball player and just a veteran presence for the team. An old veteran guy that can just, help the team. Maybe he doesn't play that much, but he's maybe
and he seems like the type of guy that wouldn't mind being back there.
Exactly. Number 12, Joe Burrow.
Oh, yeah, Joey B.
Averaged 20 points as a senior in high school and was first-team All-State in Ohio.
Oh,
apparently he had a very nice stroke, so maybe a three-point shooter for the team.
And LeBron played in Ohio.
LeBron played.
So
who knows?
Yeah.
Miles Garrett, number 11. He played in a couple All-Star games, and he looked pretty all right playing in the All-Star or the celebrity game. Sorry, I guess you should say. He looked pretty all right. Cracking my 10-man rotation. This is, in my idea, this is the 10-man rotation.
Okay.
For the regular season and then possibly cut down to 8 in the playoffs. DeJuan Jones, tackle from the Browns. A 2-star athlete in high school, had multiple D1 offers, and up until the NFL Combine, had still aspirations to possibly play in the NBA. So
What does he play?
tackle for the Browns.
He's got to be a big boy.
He's like 6'8", yeah.
Another boy.
Pretty big boy. Number 9, Mo Alley Cox, tight end for the Colts. 6'5", 276 pounds. Actually played D1 ball at VCU. 7.7 points and 4.7 rebounds at VCU. Number 8, T. Higgins. Star shooting guard in high school. Had offers from Louisiana, Tennessee, and Auburn to play D1 basketball.
Oh, wow.
So probably a
Skills?
pretty solid. He could easily be like 6-man off the bench. Number 7 off the second guy off the bench, Devontae Adams, 2-sport athlete and had options to play college ball. I don't know exactly what offers, couldn't find that, but he had offers to play college ball from high school. 6th man, C.J. Stroud.
So to be clear, the tallest guy you have so far is 6'8".
Yes,
Okay,
correct.
just
And the tallest guy in the NFL is like 6'10".
okay.
Number 6, C.J. Stroud, 2-sport athlete in high school. He scored like 31 points in the Celebrity All-Star game this year, so he's got a nice stroke.
He's
Pause. My starting 5.
Wow, let's hear the starting 5.
Starting 5. The tallest man in the NFL, Dan Skipper.
Skipper?
Dan Skipper, tackle for the Lions.
I love this guy already.
6'10", 330 pounds.
Good luck moving him.
3-sport athlete in high school. That's all I got.
Dan Skipper.
Power forward, DeForest Buckner.
Mm-hmm.
Defensive tackle for the Colts. Gatorade Player of the Year out of high school. Averaged 13 or... He was Gatorade Player of the Year for like a specific state. I didn't write that down.
Damn. Blows up your whole thing, huh?
Yeah. No, I forgot which state, but averaged 13 points and 10 rebounds in high school. So a guy that can get boards for the squad.
That's all it took to become Gatorade Player of the Year?
In whatever state, yeah. Small forward, Mike Evans. Averaged 18.3 points and 5.2 assists in high school. So pretty solid stats for a guy that ended up playing football instead.
He's very athletic. Get up there and dunk and stuff, probably.
My starting shooting guard, the clamper of this team, Sauce Gardner.
Hey,
you got to put a clamper on the team.
You got to put a clamper on the team.
I didn't want to put another
the sauce boss himself,
quote unquote, clamp on the team because you need points in the NBA. So like one guy, hopefully, is enough for the squad. And my starting point guard.
Patrick Mahomes. Oh boy. Oh boy.
Patrick Mahomes, dude. You've seen his highlight. He baller in high school, and he balled so hard that one offseason in the NFL that his team banned him from playing basketball again. He can't play basketball anymore. But guess what? In this universe, that man balls.
How can he dribble good?
Yes.
Can he?
Go look at his highlights. Go look at his highlights.
I will. I promise I'll go look him up. But I mean, it sounds like an interesting team.
It sounds like a team. You can try it if you want to. If you want to come next week with a better roster, you think they could. But I felt like I did the best I could to get.
It sounds like a very interesting team. The one thing I kept thinking of was when you were talking about this is here's a little fun fact. Do you know the only player that played in the Final Four actually played in the Final Four and in the Super Bowl is?
Who?
Julius Peppers.
Oh yeah, Julius Peppers was a guy like if I could make an all-time team,
Julius Peppers would have been
the squad. Yeah. But what did he contribute in the Final Four?
He actually he played like 12 or 15 minutes a game for Carolina when he played. Mm-hmm. So like I'm not saying he was a star. But he like contributed and played and scored some and got some rebounds. I forget what the official total was. It wasn't anything crazy.
There's even stars of the Final Four that don't even make an NBA roster.
Yeah,
And
he made an NFL roster, and he's a Hall of Famer.
He made an NFL roster. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, to be clear, I don't think either of these teams would make any kind of noise. But I definitely do not think an NFL team constructed in the NBA, like size and all that, is just.
Wait, are you saying an NBA team made of NFL players or an NFL team made of NBA? Yeah,
both. I just
think how physical the game is and how unphysical. Most NBA players are.
What time we at? What time?
I don't know.
I can give the other list. It's just a very long list.
It's a very long list.
I mean, 50...
we maybe want to break this up a little bit.
That's fine. That's fine.
Well, we will bring it next week. We promise. We'll bring it next week. We're already at about an hour and 20, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
So we're gonna
It's a 53-man roster. I made a 53-man roster.
I assumed you did.
Yeah.
So that's half the NBA is going to be on this fucking team.
Half the NBA.
It's true. If most teams carry 14 players,
it's 400. It's 400 players in the NBA.
So you got like an eighth of the NBA in this bitch.
I think having to construct a whole roster, I think I did a pretty good job.
Yeah, LeBron, you're tight end?
No.
What position LeBron play?
You want me to just give that a little spoiler?
Yeah, give a little spoiler. What position LeBron
He plays free safety, and the reason he plays free safety is because he's 39 years old. I don't want that man taking a beating, you know? I want him controlling the defense, reading the offense, maybe calling out some audibles. I know that's the middle linebacker's job.
I think you're fucking up not putting him at tight end.
I see, but I feel like what makes the NBA roster in the NFL a little bit more versatile than the NBA roster of NFL players is that, like, you can come into training camp, you know, with the idea that I have all these players at these positions, but you can try them out, you know? Like, there could be offensive linemen that work better at defensive linemen and vice versa. You could be free safeties from the NBA, like NBA that decided they want to play free safety, but they're way better at wide receiver. I have a tight end that I think you'll love.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, maybe not. Depends on if you view him currently or as his college team. But I think I did a pretty good job at the starting tight end. I didn't want LeBron being 39 years old. I know free safety, he's playing defense and he's probably doing more hitting than he is on offense, but like, let's say he's getting cracked on the offensive line at tight end because he has to block for a play. I just don't want him to. Don't want my 39-year-old.
LeBron just doesn't seem to take contact very well. He's very whiny about it when it happens.
Like, so. I want him to go back and read the field. You know, like be a ball hawk basically.
I just don't think that he's going to be able to lower the boom when T.J. Hawkinson's coming through.
That's what the strong safety's for.
I mean, I don't think he'll be able to lower the boom on anybody when Derrick Henry's coming down the lane. And
that's fair. But that's my little snippet. That's where LeBron is for me. But also a lot of these guys I thought about putting at different, like, opposite sides of the ball that I ended up putting them on. Just because it's like NBA players, if you look at it from like, okay, if they actually play in the NBA in the NFL, I mean, they could you could put a guy at wide receiver that could possibly also play corner. Like they have the build, they could possibly do both.
But they can't.
But they might be.
But they can't.
But they might be.
But they can't.
They might be able to.
But they can't. Travis Hunter, the guy who plays corner and wide receiver at Colorado, I guarantee will not be drafted.
I know. I'm not saying they play both, but like they could play either or. Like they could play wide receiver or corner, not both at the same time, obviously. But they would have the stamina for it. They just definitely wouldn't be able to take all the fucking beating that goes with it. But yeah.
Well, that was a great list.
Yeah.
Let us know your list.
Yeah, let us know somebody I missed that
might be a baller that you've seen a highlight reel of that you're like, oh, you didn't say this guy could go out there and do this thing.
Yeah, but next week I know I told a group chat that I'd have my NBA players in the NFL list for this week, but it's a really long list. We'll do it next week. I promise.
Long list. We're also going to do our top 10 NBA players next week.
We're also going to do our top 10 non-QB
NFL players.
Non-QB NFL players. I always word that wrong.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
That's why I stopped and I let you finish.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll do those rankings next week because we're talking about free agency and stuff. But outside the sports world, what we got going on?
I mean, outside the sports world, not a lot going on for me this week. You know, I work, bro. Being real, work has been what I've been up to. You know.
Yeah.
Working, and then also, I mean, in some sports world stuff, but not sports world stuff, you know, we always love to talk about our EAFC.
Division 1, baby.
We're in Division 1.
Yes, sir.
Top 5% or whatever.
Something like that, yeah.
Top 7% of the
Some
players.
elite company.
Yeah, we're up there balling. So if you ever see Gannon Dragmeyer heading it in from a nasty fucking cross from Jamie Tart, just realize you got on defense.
On defense.
You got on defense, and I'm going to do a little dance on you.
And some out of the sports world stuff. We got a lot of good stuff planned for podcasts and stuff, but we also have aspirations to possibly start streaming for you guys. Streaming some sports stuff. We got NCAA football on the horizon.
We want y'all to see us.
But we're not the absolute best you've ever seen in terms of sports games, but I like to think we're very above average sports games players. Like, only sports game I suck at is MLB The Show. Every other sports game, I think I can hold my own against most people that I know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely never in the. I'm fun enough to watch, but like I'm never gonna go to a tournament and actually expect to win.
I think I can win a.
You think so?
I think I can win a 2K1.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, you might be able to win a 2K1. Old 2K, I might have been able to do it, but now, dude, just all these jump shots just are so hard. I know you've been watching the Game of Thrones, the
I'm starting
Dragon
to
House.
rewatch. I'm rewatching Game of Thrones right now with my fiance, and then also watching House of Dragons episode 2. Banger.
No, yeah.
The Boys. The episode just dropped today. Watch that.
I haven't watched The Boys yet. I've watched The Boys, but I haven't watched this season of The Boys because my girlfriend is currently catching up on Gen V.
Gen V,
yeah. So she's watching Gen V right now. So after she gets done watching Gen V, she'll be fully caught up on it.
I bet you're itching.
Did you ever watch the cartoon, the Boys Diabolical, the cartoon series that they did? Dude, it's like
What's it on?
It's on Amazon.
Oh, I'm watching it.
It's like 8 episodes. They're like 9 minutes each. And they're all done by like different animators and different crews and shit like that. So they all look a little different. They all sound a little different, stuff like that. But they're all really good episodes, and it kind of gives you little glimpses into just the world of The Boys if you're itching for that. And there's some that's cool backstory for some of the stuff. You get to meet some characters that you never met, and get to see Billy Butcher in them, and like do different adventures and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool. Give it a shout. Like I watched it all in like an hour and a half because
I definitely will.
Yeah,
I definitely got the time. Been watching Star Wars, The Acolyte. Very controversial series for Star Wars fans, but Star Wars fans are just like NBA and sports fans. No one's ever fucking happy.
So, spoiler alert here for the Star Wars Acolytes, right? Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
I've never watched it, but I have heard that, once again, spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
Braden especially. I know you watch Star Wars stuff, Braden. Spoiler alert.
You're not allowed to listen to other podcasts, and here comes a spoiler alert. I heard that somebody else has a baby from the Force, and now Anakin's not the chosen one anymore, or something like that. Like,
well, spoiler alert.
Yeah, I don't plan on watching this, so you can.
Yeah, it's witches. Like the witches. Like it's witchcraft. Like you could call it like the Force because maybe it is.
You tell me the Force is witchcraft?
No, but like that, they're witches. The witches are the ones that did it, and I guess they have like force like ability. Like they have like a training session where like the girls are using forces, and they birthed twins, like lesbian witches birthed twins, like
kind of hot.
Stop it. But yeah, like people are mad about that.
But
like
we celebrate and we're allies.
Yes, we're 100% allies.
100%. We don't condone the evil witch part.
Yes,
but we do condone the lesbian part.
100%. Yeah, people are mad that because Anakin's not special, even though the difference is Anakin was created from an evil Sith Lord that had plans of him ruling the galaxy. I'm fairly certain these witches just wanted. We don't know. I don't know the end story of the Acolyte.
I thought Anakin's mom was raped by the Sand people.
No,
isn't that why he got mad and killed all of them?
Well, no, that she was a slave to them. I don't necessarily know if she was raped.
Well, the R word. Sorry.
Yeah,
we're not. You don't say that.
Did you say that? I thought you said it.
What?
I thought you said rape.
Well, I did too.
Okay,
but I know the internet likes to call the algorithms don't like hearing that.
Yeah.
So the R word.
Just cut that out.
Yeah, no, but I'm not gonna cut it out right now. The R word. but yeah, no, like I just heard that
was
happen.
after. That was after he was already birthed.
But yeah, I have a buddy who's like really into Star Wars and really really got pissy. Like you said, people are mad about it, and people don't like when you change things about Star Wars.
It's not changing. Like it was they didn't conceive them to create a Sith Lord. They just had babies. Like that's just.
But will they become a Sith Lord?
I don't know. Like that's to be determined. But like Anakin was a predetermined. Like they are creating this guy to eventually have what happened in the Star Wars saga, except for how it ended. With him turning on the person who created him.
Have you ever seen the videos of it's like a sketch where George Lucas goes into the future to thank the person who actually wrote Star Wars, but like basically in this future that he goes to, like George Lucas wrote Star Wars, but he goes back and he's like, well, I came here to tell you thank you because you actually wrote Star Wars, and then I just had a time machine and went back in time and made Star Wars. And then like the guy's like, what? No, that can't be true. He's like, no, yep. And then like starts showing him like,
no,
I'll have to show you. It's very
I
funny.
Have to see that.
It's a very funny skit.
Funny.
And then but yeah, and then I don't know if you ever cared about Destiny at all, the game.
Yeah.
But their stuff is the main storyline with like the Traveler and the Darkness and all that's been going on for years. that's coming to an end.
Mm.
So like they're in gaming it, like where they're going to start a new story through Destiny, that there'll be a new bad guy and the Traveler won't be the thing we're fighting for anymore and shit like that. Which that's pretty interesting because like that's 10 year. That's a 10-year story right there that's coming to an end, and it makes me as an old Destiny player kind of want to get back into it just to see like how the hell they wrap this stuff up. But the other problem is like there's been so much added to Destiny that like I'm gonna be so lost. Like I'm not gonna understand anything.
I've seen a lot
happening.
of clips of like all the new stuff in Destiny.
Yeah,
I still get notified. I still get like stuff on Twitter and stuff about Destiny. So I've seen like all the shit.
Destiny's so good. It used to be. I'd say that now, and I haven't picked up the game in like 6 years. But
we played a couple years ago. Me and
well, yeah, for like an hour and a half, and then
it was like for like a month or two.
an hour and a half in gaming time. But yeah, I mean that's about it. That's about all I've been doing. You know, I went to the soccer game. I don't know. You know, the last episode was.
Fortunately, not everyone here is a millionaire.
No, but fortunately, and Roman, I got to tell you, I think I've learned what I'm doing wrong. I'm admitting that I've read the script, and once I've admitted that, the script writers have to change it.
Yeah.
So I have to stop admitting that I'm writing the script. You know, I'm not saying I'm going to stop doing Scooter's Locks of the Week. But, you know, I'm going to have to rack up my money silently because they're shutting me down left and right. And I can't take it. My wallet can't take it. But also, there is another lock of the week. I've read the script, everybody. There is another lock of the week. I do have one. I know off the top of my head, actually.
Oh, I did it. Oh, it's popped.
Oh, he did it. Thank God. I was so worried.
Ear. Jesus
Dude,
Christ.
I was so worried about it this whole episode. This whole episode, I was so worried about it.
Orgasmic, dude. Holy shit.
Dude, good job.
Thank you so much. Holy shit.
Honestly, I want to end on top right there. I want to end right there on top.
All right.
Hey.
Bye.
Bye.